his birthday party. Lindsey is here from the Ocotillo. How are you doing?
I'm good. A little tired because we kind of went from, at least for me, just because I have only been back maybe about a month now, and it was just like kind of gradually going, and I was doing great, and I was getting back into the swing of things, and then it was like 0 to 90 in about 5 seconds towards the end of the month, and then it was like, yeah, because we got this guy in, but I'm really excited.
Yeah, so let's introduce your guest, Justin Levario. Justin, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Great. Thanks for coming in and being with us today. And Lindsey had introduced you on the radio last week when you were here talking about the Artist in Residence program.
Yep.
And your program or your artwork is what you call subliminal skulls.
Yes, sir. Correct.
And that's an interesting term because I'm old enough to remember Saturday Night Live and Kevin Nealon and Mr. Subliminal. Why the name Subliminal Skulls? Where did that come from?
And I could be completely wrong on this. I've been wrong before in my days, but we found it on the internet. Subliminal. What the definition showed is it's unheard of. It's unheard of, unseen, never seen before type of art. So, subliminal skulls.
Okay.
We rolled with that, and that's how it became.
See, where I get the subliminal is from in the world of advertising and messaging, cold drink of water, is you just kind of keep talking about things, cold drink of water, and you throw in these little subliminal messages, cold drink of water, with the idea being that you don't hear it or see it, cold drink of water, and so you subliminally in your mind pick it up, cold drink of water, and then the next thing you know, you're looking at Lindsey and saying, can anybody give me a cold drink of water? I did, so Lindsey's going over to the refrigerator to get some water right now. So that's how I think.
Hey, Gene, I'm so parched. I just need me some water. Oh, you brought out my Texas accent.
Which, by the way, that was the Kevin Nealon bit on Saturday Night Live was what I did. So I did not invent that. I give that to Kevin, but that's another definition. Something that's unheard of.
Right.
And so where do you find these skulls? Do you, and I guess I have to ask you the chicken and the egg question. Did you see the skull and say, I want to do something with that? Or were you trying to come up with something to make and you said, well, maybe we should try it with a skull?
I definitely wasn't the first one to do this. I was at my ex-brother-in-law's house, still family, one night we were there and just having a couple drinks, and he says, hey man, you got to see this. And he's a big time hunter. His wife's a taxidermist and whatnot.
Nice.
So he says, hey, you got to see this. And I said, well, all right. And he pulls up his phone, and it was SOB skulls out of somewhere east. He's pretty far, and his name was Seth O'Hara. And so I'd seen that, and I was just intrigued 100%. And I told Jeff, I said, look, I'm going to do this. And he says, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. And I said, look, I'm going to do this. And about a week later, he sent me a picture of a cow skull. It didn't have no horns on it, and he had cut a star in it, maybe in a moon, and just some nonsense stuff, and so I sent him a picture of the skull I was working on, and he was just like, whoa. What is that? And I was like, look, I told you I was going to do this. And
yeah.
And this was about maybe almost 7.5 years ago, and just been running with it ever since. I've got ranchers that I score good cow skulls from, taxidermists, hunters. I can get my deer, elk, small game like that, badgers. I've got coyotes, foxes, just tons and tons and tons of skulls, bison, longhorns. I've done several. Mm-hmm. But so mainly just from ranchers, and we spend a lot of time out in the country, cruising and stuff. So we'll find them out there, whatnot, and just run with it.
Now, has this become a full-time occupation for you, or is this still you have like a real job and then you do this for fun?
It's still considered a hobby.
Okay.
I'm still in the process. I haven't taken the leap. I still have to get a business license and all of this, but I've kind of wanted to make sure that I had a good foundation on everything before I did take that jump, so there wasn't a chance of failure,
Yeah.
And But I'm currently working down at the Moose as the maintenance guy over there. So I can kind of play my schedule out with that, and it still helps with the skulls. I still have plenty of time to do my stuff, my art.
So when you first get started, I mean, did you just kind of look around the house and I'll use this and I'll use that, and that's ballooned into a full-blown shop now?
I mean, yeah, kind of in a sense, we, just, it takes, I mean, a Dremel tool is what I use to cut a pencil, an eraser. I'll pick up the canvas, my medium, and I'll just let the pencil go to work. Sometimes if it's a custom job, well, then, okay, I'm going to put what the customer wants on it. But everything's hand-drawn. All the skulls are authentic. The horns are 100% the horns that belong to the animal. Actually, well, there is the comrade, that goat. That one we actually did put different horns on him. We found them. We were over at Cody's storage unit the other day. We're messing around in there, and we found these random set of horns. And she was like, what do you want to do with these? And I was just like, well, I don't know. I got home, and there was a goat skull just laying there that had nothing drawn on it, and I don't know what happened to the horns. Well, these horns slipped right on, and I was like, well, all right. And I just pencil whipped a design on it that night, and
There you go.
and it was done.
Yeah.
Now he's Comrade the Goat.
Comrade the
Yeah,
goat.
and he's like, if you guys, hey, come by the Ocotillo, come see his work. Comrade is completely like wood burnt. Well, I say wood burnt, bone burnt, I guess.
Yep.
And that's actually one of my favorite pieces. And it's cool because every single piece is different, but you can still see he's got like a cohesive, like he's got a voice as an artist. And so that's one reason why I was really, really excited to have his stuff. Actually, Ashley Mason introduced me to him, and he was really super excited. And we haven't had an artist in the month in over a year, like a little over a year. So we've been nerding out hardcore in the lobby there and at the gallery. And he's even like, yeah, let's do this. Oh, yeah, let's do this. And he's actually gotten into the process with me.
Yeah.
Because normally I'm like, this is my job. I'm going to hang up all the art. But he's like, we've really, I think put together a really cool display. And he's really been a big help with that. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah.
You're welcome. No
So
problem.
when you see the skull, and how long does it take you to come up with what you want to do with that skull? Is it instantaneous, or do you have to think about it a little bit?
Sometimes it happens. Like I said, there's been times where I've drawn a complete skull in 15, 20 minutes just drawing designs on it out of my head. It does take a lot of erasing. I'll pencil and I'll erase, and I'll pencil and I'll erase. And there's a custom job I'm working on right now it's called the Kid. And there's a Zia symbol carved completely out over the eye. It says the Kid across the top in 3D letters, and then there's the Don't Tread on Me flag down on the bottom side also. And I had to draw and erase and draw and erase probably 4 times each letter, each line, each Zia symbol. That one was a pain in the neck, honestly. But it's going to end up being a beautiful, beautiful piece.
Yeah. So when
he
you were
does a really good job freehanding that
yeah.
stuff.
So when you were a kid, were you artistic as a kid? Were you in art classes, or did somebody tell you should be in art class? Or?
It all started. Of course, as kids growing up and everything, you do all of your extracurricular activities in class, and you do your little arts, your masons, all your things that you make. Well, I did all of that, and I was pretty good at it. I still got a couple little jars and stuff I made from whenever I was a kid, but my love for art actually started, I would say, in 7th grade.
Okay.
With Pam Atkins, was my teacher, and I just loved it, and from there I took art classes as far as I could, all the way through high school. I was in art classes, but I've never, aside what I got given to me for free from schooling, I haven't went out of my way to chase down any art classes or anything like that. per
Sure.
se. So just self-taught, I guess, just a gift.
And what do you think it was about that first photo that you saw from that other skull that triggered this?
Well, like I said, I've always been into the art and stuff, as far as, I used to make necklaces, marble necklaces and stuff to sell at school. I've done art in the park for probably, I don't even know how many years, off and on, just different things. I've carved gourds. I've just made a ton of things. But yeah, it just, I don't know, that first picture, whenever I seen those skulls that Seth had done, just completely just grabbed me. I mean, they reminded me of a tattoo. I've got tattoos. I like tattoos. It was just, it was so artistic and just, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It just grabbed me.
Well, it's interesting how, different ways that people are inspired and stuff. I'm just kind of curious, like if you're driving down the road and you see a cloud formation or something, then you go, ooh, I need a skull. or do you write them down on a notepad, just a design concept, and so you've got all these design concepts just ready to go, waiting for the right skull or opportunity?
None. No,
None.
sir.
Okay, that's interesting.
Not one. I don't have one template. No, nothing. It's 100% freehand.
Wow.
I'll pencil it, and I mean, if somebody says they want a custom job and they want to pay for something completely out of like off the wall, like, well, okay, so I'll probably go ahead and be able to pull a print off the internet, and get it to where it's exactly perfect for them. But I prefer freehanding everything because to me that's more artistic. You don't lay a transit paper onto a skull and boom, there's your design. You just follow the lines. To me it's more special, more important, more unique, I guess, just freehanding.
Well, I'm guessing each skull is probably a little bit different. I mean, you can tell a cow from a rabbit or whatever, but
Yes,
beyond that, there's probably unique aspects of each skull.
The thickness in them is a big thing. If you're engraving the work, you have to be careful not to bust through the bone. If you're cutting the work, you have to make sure not to break the bone because there's no takebacks.
Right.
You can get away with gluing, little pieces sometimes, but there's no takebacks. I busted a skull, I guess one that I shouldn't have been carving that day. I was in a bad mood and I broke it once and I was like, oh, mad. Now I was like, well, I can fix it, and I broke it again. And finally I set it aside and for
walk away
half a year at least, maybe even a year and a half. I don't know. It was a long time, and I finally picked it back up and went, all right, so I finished it. But that day in particular, I learned something that day. If you're in a bad mood, it's okay to draw. You're not going to tear anything up drawing. You can erase it. But when it comes to cutting the bone, there's definitely no takebacks.
Yeah. So you've got a number of pieces that are on display at the Ocotillo.
Quite a few.
20 plus.
20 plus. Okay.
He also brought some really cool like galaxy paintings that he's done with spray paint, and they're all just a little bit different. And I
was giving her a hard time about that because she said Galaxy, and I said, oh, you're a big fan of the Ford Galaxy from the 1960s or the 50s or whatever. But
I'm a Chevy guy.
You're a Chevy guy. Okay. So, but then I was corrected.
I'm not going to say anything about Fords. I drive one, so I better not say that because then it'll die.
Oh no! Perry Mason, his driving around town and the country car was the Galaxy.
No, there was a
going to the court car was the Lincoln Continental or the But when
Ford stands for Found on Roadside Dead.
Don't say that on the radio.
I know. Dang, my car's gonna die now. Irish.
Karma. That's right.
Yeah, literally.
But tell us a little bit about what some of the different pieces are that we're going to see.
Let's see. I've got anything. The smallest skull I've got is Das Skunk. That's probably the smallest skull I've ever carved, and it's literally 1.5 inches long. Wow. Tiny skull. I've got foxes, plum vixen, badgers, Life's a Maze. There's the Enforcer. Those are 2 different pieces. Coyotes, deer. I've got.
He's got
Barbary
2 coyote.
sheep.
I'm sorry to interrupt. He's got 2 coyotes skulls that he did, and they're like right next to mine and Candace's office door, and he went out and found some of those Pecos River diamonds, and they were missing some teeth, so he gave them like little Pecos
Well,
diamond.
you said Barbary sheep. I had never heard of Barbary sheep until one of our guys ran into one going to a football game a couple of years ago in his brand new car that he had just taken delivery of the afternoon before.
Tore his car up.
Yeah, well, tore the front end up because I guess, he said, well, I ran into a Barbary sheep. I said, were you on the coast somewhere? I mean, what are you talking about? So, but those are a common animal out there in the,
Yes, sir.
in the
Yes, sir,
wilderness.
definitely. Big animals.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I actually finished carving one yesterday at the house. I haven't brought it over.
He's pretty prolific. I don't know how many times he's called in and been like, Lindsey, I got more skulls. I'm like, yeah, bring them over. We still got room.
I guess I've got about 3 more I've completed since we started all of this. So,
Yeah.
or
And
not
then
quite completed.
And then talk about the
right
galaxies again. And aside from the joke about the fine Ford automobile, you're talking about like up in the sky, the stars,
Planets,
and
planet
planets.
paintings, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Stars. Got a few shooting stars. Got some pretty cool paintings. I'd seen it on TikTok. I had never done it. Like I said, I paint with spray paint. I'm not a brush painter.
Okay.
But I
spray paint.
I'm a spray painter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I seen it. Once again, that's cool. I want to do that. So, and I've even actually put planets on a skull. I've got a cow skull that we call her
Space cow.
Space cow. Yeah, she's got eight planets on her, maybe 2, 6, at least 6. And then I have a
nice
cow
piece.
elk at the house that she's got some planets on her as well.
Amazing.
You gotta find you a moose that you can do for the mooses.
Well, see, and
The mises? The
I've
mooses?
I've
Moose
seen a couple
is
moose.
plural of moose. So
Yeah, moose. They're huge, aren't they?
Oh my gosh.
But yes, I would love to get my hands on a moose skull someday. I've got, like I said, bison. I've got 2 big bison. I've got a water buffalo. I've got a wildebeest.
Oh wow, that I bet
I've
that
got
water buffalo is
several cool skulls over there at the house. Whitetails, mule deer, longhorns, cows.
well, I'm guessing you've probably bought quite a bit of spray paint. Have they started following you out the store or making you sign papers for all that spray paint that you're?
They need to start giving it to me for free.
That's right.
it's like here, CompuServe 6 cans because you just bought 60.
I think that's right.
Now we go through a little bit of spray paint, mostly blacks, clears, whites. The main colors. You definitely go through a lot of them. The clear coats are real big ones.
Okay, now I probably should have asked you this question as much as we've been doing stuff over at the lobby at the Ocotillo, but I've been meaning to ask because I know how to do the splatter because I'm more of a brush painter, and I know the 2 different ways to get that splatter. How do you get the splatter for the stars with spray paint?
My hands.
There you go. Perfect.
You just spray a little bit of spray paint in your hands and you shake it off and then you just make stars.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, are these works that are on display right now? Are they display only? Are they for sale? Can people
At the
buy some
moment-
of these things?
At the moment, yes, sir. Yeah, we've just got them on display at the Ocotillo. We are set up for the Red Dirt Black Gold. We're going
Yep.
to be at the Red Dirt Black Gold.
That's
Everything will be
August
for sale.
28th. Come on down, because come on, guys. Reckless Kelly, Bart Crow, 2 amazing bands. That
Gonna
takes
be a
me
good
back to my
show.
college years. But yes, no, for sure. And hey, guess what? It's a free show. But yeah, no, and they'll have a variety of vendors this year. Justin will be one of them.
Okay.
And he'll also be at Art in the Park October
Right.
15th and 16th. Put these dates in your calendar, guys, because you're going to want to come down. We will be at JC Park this year instead of Central Park, so we are going to grow and spread and make this thing massive over the next few years. And he'll definitely be there as well. And I'll let you finish up talking about your schools.
Well, when can people? When it's in the lobby at the Ocotillo? So,
Yep.
do you have hours now? People can wander in off the street, or do they have to? Let me in to see the skulls.
No, we've actually, let you in to see the skulls. No, we have been open from around 11 a.m. to around 5 to 6 p.m.
Okay.
Tuesday through Friday, and occasionally we're open on Mondays, usually if Candace and I have to get some work done. But definitely come through and see the skulls because they are amazing. All huge variety of colors, huge variety of patterns. They're one of his the badger skulls. One of them is when you first walk up to it, it just looks like it's red and blackish colored, but you get up to it and the carving is very intricate and very just like a lot of detail. So if you guys want to come see all that beautiful detail, you need to come down to the Ocotillo Performing Arts Center and check out our Artist of the Month for August, Justin Levario. And then for the month of September, his skulls will be, the ones he doesn't sell, will be over at the 510 Gallery, which is Main Streets.
Excellent. So
yeah.
That's great. And I'm sure you'll have some information there at the Ocotillo if people want to
Yes.
find, are you on, I'm sure everybody is. Are you on the social media? People can find you there?
Yes, sir. We have a Facebook page. It's Subliminal Skulls. You can give us a like there. There's, if TikTok, Snapchat, all of it, but mainly our Subliminal Skulls page is on Facebook, yes.
On Facebook. Very good. Justin Levario, thank you so much for coming in. It's been real fun to get to know you and learn about your art. Lindsey, thank you so much for
Thanks, Gene.
needing water. Did you get a cool drink of water?
Whole bottle.
Why did you get thirsty all of a sudden? I don't understand.
Glass of water? Huh?
That's great.
It was even cold. How did that happen? Wait, it's a refrigerator.
The refrigerator. Supposed to be wine in there, but we thought that's not a good idea.
Dang
The
it.
shows might be more fun.
Absolutely. I don't need too much help.
Well, that's true.
So you mentioned the art in the park, and you mentioned Justin's artwork on there. Anything else going on at the Ocotillo you want to mention right now?
Well, unofficially, we may have a new instructor, but once that's official, we'll talk about that more.
I would wait till it's official.
Yep. However, we are gearing up probably towards the end of September, working on getting our youth classes started and lessons. Max Salgado will be teaching his drums and guitar lessons again. We should have our dance instructor back, Alexis, and can't wait to reveal, hopefully, the new mystery instructor next time
Okay.
I come in.
So does
yeah.
Alexis answer questions if you ask her?
As far as I know.
Alexis, what's going on at the Ocotillo? No, that's a bad, terrible, isn't it? All right, I need to stop.
It's all right,
All right,
Gene.
thank you. Lindsey, thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
in.
thank you.
Justin, nice to meet you. Good luck with
Sir,
your
Gene,
work.
appreciate it.
Sounds fantastic.
Thank you very much.
We are going to take a break, open up the Zoom room, and get Aaron